Focus, as I said this morning, is on the last day of the U.S. President Barack Obama's Big Bang India visit. The U.S. President to address a select group of mainly young Indians at Delhi's Siri Fort Auditorium this morning. The theme being India and America, the future we can build together. He is tipped to speak on how to tap the energy of the people of India and the United States and turn that into positive progress. Post the address, the U.S. President will be leaving for Saudi Arabia, where he will offer condolences on the death of King Abdullah. And this had led, in fact, the U.S. President to cut short his visit. He was earlier scheduled to visit the Taj in Agra on the last day of his visit. Joining me now, also two more special guests joining our rolling coverage this morning. KC Singh, resplendent in his yellow patka this morning. Appreciate your joining us, former ambassador. Also joining us, Sanjay Puri of the US-India Political Action Committee that works and lobbies for greater relations, stronger relations between the two countries. But KC, before you joined us, Samir and Mr. Parthasarathi were looking at the legacy issue that Mr. Obama is now concerned about. He's in his 7th year, and we were contrasting Obama coming to India 4 years ago and today. And the big difference we saw is he's laying out a much broader platform for an Indo-US relationship. Is that how you see it, that Obama too is much more about legacy? This issue is, and today's speech in a sense could also be about that. He's looking now to the future.
No, I think even in 2010, his address to the parliament, his general speeches, the breadth was there. But I think what they are now trying to do is flesh it out and see what are the deliverables and don't leave it at the rhetorical level. And two things that picked up is from his side, climate change. And that's why if he gets on hydrofluorocarbons, he gets India to phase them out. And secondly,
which he hasn't at the moment.
No, but there's a commitment there. India will phase in their statement, not in our statement.
That's right.
They said Prime Minister gave a commitment in September last year that we'll phase the hydrofluorocarbons out, which Prime Minister has not shared with the country, because the government must take steps then to implement it. Sure. Ban the use in air conditioners, fridges, which will have economic implications, and alternative technologies coming in. So that, and second commitment is that we will not be a stumbling block as far as the Paris meeting is concerned, which has to draw up the roadmap post-Kyoto for emissions. So they've already got China more or less on board, and they want India, China, if both of them are on board, it will flow. So he wants that. On that, then the nuclear deal is there, which is already, the resolution is already flowing into domestic political discussion and contention and contestation. So the government, I think, needs to, by keeping a lot of facts away from the public space, they have allowed debate to generate, which should not have happened. They should have shared more. Okay. And I think as we go along, because I've picked up some facts, we can go into it now or later.
Sure. We'll look at those specific issues, but in the general sense, is that how you look at it, that the US president looking at the legacy? I think climate peace is what is being agreed is critical to his attempt to sort of define his presidency in the 7th year.
I think he's, if you notice his demeanor, he's freed, because as he said in his State of the Union, I have no more elections to fight. So whether he talks about outsourcing or anything else, you see a much more looser President Obama. The last year has been very bad for him. He got hammered in the past elections. So you see a much looser, and he's talking, and now today you'll see him in his element with young people. This is what he thrives in town hall.
Okay, he likes the idea of that town hall. You know, much like Narendra Modi, let's be honest, you know, in a sense, if you remember Mr. Modi's big breakthrough moment, where before he sort of launched his ambitious prime ministerial campaign, was at the Sri Ram College of Commerce here in SRCC in Delhi. Very much the town hall format, very much younger India. And to give credit to both President Obama and Prime Minister Modi, they've been very conscious of the demographic shift.
In fact, yesterday, Rajdeep, yes, I think a Prime Minister seemed to overshadow him. Because Obama didn't have many opportunities to, even at the business meet.
That's right.
They weren't really great sparkling speeches. And at the
parade of KC, not, you know,
at the parade, of course, the Prime Minister in his turban And Prime Minister got...
Look at the kind of punishing schedule that you put the US President and the Indian Prime Minister through. The Indian Prime Minister obviously seems to have more energy at the moment than the US President at times.
Though he's 13 years older.
Though he's 13 years older, as the US President remarked that, Narendra Modi only seems to sleep for 3 or 4 hours.
So, there was a brief glimpse of the Obama we know in the dinner toast. He's a funny man. He has great humor. The White House speeches are excellent. And I think the second piece is that the First Lady has been off color. And normally the magic between the two.
Look at the way we are looking. I mean, when you say off color, you obviously
with regard to the First Lady, may I say something?
Go ahead, please do.
She must pay much remorse having to go to Saudi Arabia instead of being photographed by the Taj.
Yes.
So maybe that could, but the Madison Square Garden also looms large, right? I mean, you also have that in the back. So Modi went to the US and you had a Madison Square Garden. That was his moment, in a sense, in the US. And I'm sure the president would want this Chili Fort town hall to be his moment, where he is in his full elements. And
20,000 people versus, what, 2,000?
No, you have no drama Obama with all theatre Modi.
Correct.
So, when the two meet, obviously one stumps the other.
Yeah, they are both, though, fine communicators. At the end of the day...
No, but with Modi, there's the additionality of theatre.
Correct.
Sure,
the turban, the props,
there's the serial dressing.
The walk in the garden with cameras watching.
And 40 congressmen
seating in the back gardens, sunken.
Because I think it's important in a sense, and we'll discuss this. This visit is as important, or perhaps even more important for Prime Minister Modi than it is for the US President. Sure. I mean, let's be clear, the US President has other priorities, Yemen, Ukraine. He moves on to Saudi Arabia in a few hours
and
from now. For the Indian Prime Minister, he's got a big election coming up in a few days' time. Yeah. He perhaps will use all his foreign policy successes to establish his primacy in that election. And that's the way Narendra Modi is. I mean, let's be honest, he thrives in theatre.
Correct.
He thrives in the idea of being a larger-than-life leader, and he's very good at it. Yeah. And very few leaders have shown that sort of easiness with the camera that the Prime Minister has. And that's the big contrast with the previous Prime Minister, who struggled, in a sense, when it came to the camera. So I think you've got a Prime Minister who loves the camera. You've got a US President who's very comfortable also in gatherings like the one he's going to have today. And remember, they've got that joint Man Ki Baat, which is coming today at 8 p.m. on All India Radio, and no doubt will be put up on television channels as well. Let's take a pause button. There's plenty to talk about, plenty of specifics, joined by more guests in a moment from now. Let's head into a break. I also, after that break, want to go to Pune, where R.K. Lakshman's last rites will be performed this morning. The eminent cartoonist, the iconic cartoonist. Plenty more on this special coverage here on Namaste Obama on Headlines Today.